Red Bull and Max Verstappen struck back in Japan in the last episode, and having had a brief look at the car analysis, I think he's the favourite heading into today's race in Singapore. Hello everyone, welcome to episode 68 of the Journey with Mercedes here on AHGP. My name's Aaron, and let's get stuck straight in. As I was saying, looks like Max Verstappen is going to be the favourite today in our race around the Singapore street circuit. Let's just have a look at comparing our car against the Dutchman's, and you can see where low speed and medium speed are concerned, both which are crucial or important around the Marina Bay circuit. The Red Bull has something of an edge. We're only 5th for low speed, 6th for medium speed, so we could be not even making the podium today. It might be that we need to be clever with the strategy to get a really positive result. We have had some driver development updates, so I haven't really touched on this throughout the series. Briefly mentioned in passing about George Russell's stats, but seeing as we've got Oscar Piastri now, I thought we'd check in with how he's doing. George is overtaking is now at 88 after the mess that he made of trying to pass Pierre Gasly in Japan. I'm pleased that it's gone up a notch now, so he's clearly learned from that experience. Oscar has now become 2 points smoother than he was before, and there's been some improvement from Isaac Hadjar, who's yet to get behind the wheel at a race weekend for us. So his control is now 88. His adaptability is now 70. Here's the championship standings then as we head to Singapore. We are 2 points clear of Red Bull at the top of the Constructors' Championship, but the top 3 teams, including Ferrari, is covered by just 6 points. George Russell does lead the way in the Drivers' Championship, but he's only 5 points clear of his Season 2 rival, Max Verstappen, who, as I said, probably favourite for today's race. Lando Norris is in the hunt early doors. He's 10 points behind George Russell. Esteban Ocon in P4 for McLaren. That's impressive from him. Obviously, he was on the podium in Australia where he beat Max Verstappen to that podium. So, we've made sure that George has all of the latest bits and pieces on his car. We do have a new chassis being manufactured, as you can see here, second part of it. And we're manufacturing new extra underfloors and extra suspension, so we've got spare parts. So I think that brings you just about up to date with goings on in between things. I'm going to head into practice, get the car sorted out, and I'll see you for qualifying. Right, we have made it to Q3 here in Singapore, but we have been at least half a second off the pace of Max Verstappen so far. Red Bull easily the fastest car around the Marina Bay circuit, so we've got a tough job on to even be on the podium, because Ferrari look fast too, as do McLaren. Snowden and Stroll are joining us in Q3. Let's get straight out there then and get a lap on the board. Piastri's going to go first. There he goes. And then we're going to send George Russell. We're going to actually be tracking the Red Bulls here, so we might pick up a bit of a tow in certain sections. Hopefully they don't get in our way. Let's see what the first laps have in store for us then. So Norris is quick. What's Leclerc going to do? He's actually beaten Verstappen so far. Russell a 27 flat. Piastri a 10th slower. Middle sectors. Leclerc is absolutely on one. Here we go then. Leclerc is going to go fastest. Verstappen only third. Piastri fourth.
So currently P4.
And Russell goes fourth. Norris with the fastest final sector so far. And that gets him into... Well, Leclerc did that on used tyres. Are you for real?
Currently it's P4.
Is this game serious? He's just done the fast... We were on brand new tyres. That's outrageous. Absolutely outrageous. Right then, here we go. We've actually dropped to 7th place with Piastri ahead of our final run. Leclerc on new tyres isn't improving, bizarrely, but Verstappen is going fast in the middle sector. Let's keep an eye on George Russell. He's the last of the top drivers across the line, but no improvement. I don't get this thing with new tyres. There's no improvement as Verstappen goes fastest. Leclerc has picked up his pace in the middle sector. No, doesn't seem to be much improvement in lap time for the player when you put new tyres on. Leclerc has snatched pole position back off of his teammate. Piastri not improving. Needs to if he wants to start any higher than P7. Russell has found some time in the middle sector. Lando Norris is about to finish his lap and stays third. George Russell stays fourth. Piastri did find some time in the final sector and goes fifth. So that's something. We'll start fourth and fifth for the Grand Prix, which I suppose is okay. But what's the gap to the teams at the top? So Leclerc did a 27.7. We did a 28.3. That's the best part of 0.6 of a second that we are slower around this circuit. That is an enormous amount of time. Piastri only a tenth off, literally a tenth off of his teammate. So that's decent, but I don't get this whole fresh tyre, no improvement thing. It's bizarre. There's heavy rain forecast for the Singapore Grand Prix, and it's coming late in the evening. So we could play it two ways here. We could try and go long on a set of mediums or hards. If I get rid of that medium set there, we could do... I mean, that doesn't really work. Actually, you'd probably need to go hards, and even then you're banking on the rain coming immediately. So what I'm thinking is we do 2 sets of softs, which will get us hopefully to the rain period. Might even need to do soft medium, because those softs didn't really look particularly happy. If we do something like this, and then we'll add in our intermediate section here. I think that looks alright, although it could be very, very heavy rain. So we need to be prepared to put on the full wet. So I'll sort Oscar's strategy out, and then we'll get ready to race. Right, we're ready to go. I've underfueled quite significantly for this race because there's going to be so much rain towards the end of the race. Hopefully we'll be able to recover it, and by that point we'll kind of know where we are in the race. The damage needs to be done early on. We need to make early progress from P4 and P5. That's why I've underfueled, so we can be fast early on, make those overtakes, and make use of the extra stop we're going to be making. I'm assuming the AI will try and long it out to the rain period, or they'll copy what we're going to do. So let's find out by doing a motor race. Okay, it's an all Red Bull front row, and we've got 5 red lights in Singapore. The lights are out, the race is on. Let's jump straight on board with Max Verstappen. There's hard tyres on the cars ahead of us. Looks like Leclerc was on a set of softs. I'm going to ask Piastri not to fight his teammate. Hopefully he doesn't lose a ton of positions. No, Oscar, stop it. Oh, God. We've got to deal with this again. Okay, so we've lost a position. Russell now coming back through. Now don't fight your teammate, Oscar, and then he loses a position. I hate this. Right, tyre-wise, Leclerc is on softs. Verstappen and Norris on hards. It's just a spread of softs and hards. Stroll is being a complete nuisance here, and I wish he didn't exist in this universe, because he's getting in between my drivers and I don't like it. George Russell is right onto the back of Lando Norris. We need to get past Norris and Verstappen pronto. George Russell has just mugged Lando Norris in the final sector. We're still deploying, and I think we are now successfully through, but we won't have DRS here. But it's not going to matter because we're so much quicker. Piastri can probably just ease off. He is still in P6 and dropping back from Stroll, it looks like, as well, which definitely isn't ideal. George Russell is immediately into DRS range of Max Verstappen. Leclerc has cleared off by 2 seconds. Here we go. Let's just deploy. Are we close enough? We're less than half a second. Verstappen moves to block. I think George is going to go through anyway. Here we go. George Russell. The Russell shuffle. I wasn't sure he was going to get that stop, to be honest. But he's got himself into second position. That is very good news for us. Piastri is still in 6th, holding off Gasly. Let's get him deploying. Let's just watch this overtake from Russell. That was very nicely done indeed. Progress for Oscar Piastri. He's managed to nip up the inside of Lando Norris, and that is Lance Stroll that he is now just behind once again. So he's got the move done with the DRS. Further progress for Oscar Piastri. He's pinched the inside at the hairpin in the braking zone, and I think he even got DRS for good measure. There we go, job done. He's up into 4th position. He's ahead of both Ferraris, which is crucial for the Constructors' Championship. At the front, George Russell is 3 seconds now behind Leclerc. Piastri is going to need to defend from Stroll, so that might chop and change a little bit. We've gone a bit hard on the tyres early on. We need to scale back a bit on that and just make sure we get to our pit window. So let's get to that pit window and see how things pan out from there. Let's get to this pit stop, see where we drop out. And there's other drivers pitting at the moment. Verstappen has just taken 3 seconds out of us. The tyres have just collapsed and Verstappen is now flying. He's just on a 33.7. Leclerc, that looks like a slow stop. It is a slow stop and he's right in front of us. Leclerc's had a pit stop issue. What was the problem? It's a very close-up picture. That is incredibly close-up. But it might have been that we held him. And that's also definitely not the angle for the Singapore pit lane for him to be coming in from, is it? The camera work is going bananas. It doesn't know where to look. And Russell drops out in 7th, just ahead of Alex Albon. And now we'll have DRS to attack Leclerc. Potentially our main rival for victory today. Leclerc on a set of softs here. That's interesting. We've gone for a set of mediums, so he might just pull away. Let's just hang with him and see if we can be towed along, essentially, through this traffic. Going to make sure we get through effectively. Piastri is comfortably clear of Stroll, who I think has also stopped. So he's now 5 seconds ahead of the Canadian. Albon into the pit lane. Leclerc is trying to get through, but failing. Leclerc has already passed the McLaren as well, so we do need to get this move done ASAP, and there we go. We've passed Sonoda, and now we can get the job done on Sainz. Please and thank you. There we go. We'll reduce the overtake aggression accordingly. We are now 2.5 seconds behind Leclerc, but there's rain to come, and that could turn everything upside down. Right, Leclerc is on to Norris, and the lap times we have been significantly faster than everybody else. I think we're going to attack with George Russell here.
Let's give it everything we got
and see if we can close this gap. We are... What's the gap to Leclerc? We are 3.5 seconds behind. Let's see if we can close this down and insert ourselves into that fight. Well, Leclerc has got through, but he's not disappeared just yet. We are about to get some DRS, and there it is from Lando Norris. And I think we'll be able to find our way through. We'll go high overtake aggression with George, and we'll deploy. And hopefully we can get this done very, very quickly, and that is perfect. That is exactly what we wanted to see. So now we can just track Leclerc and almost stalk him towards the end of the race. As long as we're in with a shout, we'll be fine. Piastri probably needs to just look after his tyres a bit there. We do need to consider our fuel. Obviously, we under fuel, and it didn't really work. Well, it did. It got Russell into second place, and we are now in this position to try and capitalise. But we do need to think about our fuel. Leclerc has gone hard on his tyres. We're just out of DRS range there. So this race still has a lot of a story to tell, but I think for now it's just going to calm down a little bit. Although I've just said that, and Russell is now right on Leclerc's tail, so we might as well go for this overtake get it done. I think he's still on high overtake aggression. We're going to go through here, and if we can make this stick, we will now be just 7 seconds behind Verstappen. They're side by side, and let's reduce the overtake aggression there. Let's attack on the tyres. We are still a few minutes out from the rain. In fact, let's conserve our fuel as well. If Leclerc goes back through, we'll just follow him with the DRS and save fuel that way. So we are rapidly closing on Verstappen. 2 seconds quicker last time round. So Verstappen needs to be very watchful out in the lead. That's not a safe lead by any stretch right now.
The rain is falling. Yep.
As Bono says, the rain has arrived. It is now Piastri's optimal pit stop lap, but it's nowhere near wet enough for the rain. But let's have a look at the track details. Oh my word, it's going to get extraordinarily wet. So I think what we do, I think the play here is wait until that rain starts rocketing up in terms of water on track, then put on the full wets, because if you put on full wets immediately, they'll burn out and you'll lose time. But we're also probably going to need to go on to inters, so this is a tricky one. Very, very tricky. Russell challenging Leclerc for second place. Verstappen only 3 seconds up the road. There he is, just going through the screen. Piastri's actually closing in on Norris, who also hasn't stopped. So we're approaching the point where inters will be good. But that rainfall is going to intensify very, very quickly. Then it's going to drop back towards like an intermediate territory. So ideally you only stop once. But will the inters cope? And you'll be so much slower for that period of time. So you're looking at a period of maybe 10 laps. It might be worth going to the wets, then to the inters. George Russell now leads the race because Max Verstappen has gone in for a set of intermediate tyres, and we've got an incident. It's not to do with us, which is good. So we're going to lose time here on the inters, but I think we hang it out and go to the wets. And once the wets are faster, we will soon be in a good position. Everybody, it seems, diving in for inters. I wonder if Leclerc's thinking the same as us. There's another yellow flag here. Red flag! Red flag! This could be unbelievably beneficial for us. This is huge. If it's still wet, we've got a free pit stop. Oliver Behrman has crashed on the inters. Oh, he's had a Lance Stroll, and that is, yep, that's red flag territory. That's red flag territory. So this could be huge for us. This could change the entire complexion of the Singapore Grand Prix. Okay, so just reading this screen. Heavy rain conditions at the start of, the restart. So you need your wets. And then it's going to go to light rain afterwards. So do we start on inters? Or do we start on full wets? Oh, I don't like this. I really don't like this. This is hero or zero stuff. Okay, I'm going to go inters on both cars. It says there, I mean, who knows? Who knows what it's going to be? It looks like everyone's on inters. Right, a restart in Singapore. And the lights are out. The race is back on. We need to deploy with both cars. Russell leads away. We've kind of lucked into the lead here. Verstappen going up the inside of Piastri. That's not ideal. But we are now leading with George Russell. Piastri wasn't pushing off the start. It's very, very wet, but it is drying up. So going for inters was definitely the right call. We are low on fuel, so we'll conserve fuel for now. But we've secured the lead at the restart. Piastri, stop driving in clean air. Okay, so we've managed to get ourselves in front, and in the wet, track position is very, very important. Let's have a look at what the rain is going to do. It's actually now going to dry out towards the end of the race. So I think we've got some extra sets of soft tyres to put on. We've got a yellow flag. Someone's had an accident. Piastri's dropping back. It's not him, is it? Let's quickly check this out. It's Esteban Ocon, so it's not really... Hello, marshals. Oh, okay. And then contact means stop. Cool. Right, we lead the race. Let's hang on to it. Right, we've been deploying for the last couple of laps, and we have opened up a 2.5 second lead almost over Charles Leclerc. Max Verstappen is pushing hard on his inters, trying to get past his teammate. Oscar Piastri is now 2 seconds off third place in P4, obviously. We are saving our fuel, so we will probably be able to pick up the pace a little bit more towards the end of the race, but it's important to save it now, considering it's going to dry up towards the final few laps. Let's just check the situation around our soft tyres. They're all used. We don't have any new sets for either driver as far as I know, but they'll do. But it's just about managing this gap now until around lap 60, maybe 58 there, where there's going to be a dash for the pit lane late on, and if we can get that right, we'll win this race. So I was just trying to make sure we conserve a bit more fuel. We've got 10 laps to go, half a kilogram to recover. The track is drying out. The rain has now stopped, so let's do a nice big harvest into the next big braking zone and make sure we've got plenty of battery to use, essentially to deploy when we put the slicks on, which will be any time now. So the track allegedly is dry. So I think, well, Drogovic is straight in for a set of softs, so I think we do exactly the same. We box this lap, and then we will be running to the flag. I would assume they're going to follow us straight in. In comes Russell, in comes Leclerc. Verstappen stays out. Piastri is coming in, so Verstappen's going to lose out here. We might be able to undercut Piastri past the Dutchman because he's having to stay out that extra lap. So we need a good stop here, please. Pit lane crew. 2.7. Oh no, Leclerc has jumped us. Dang it.
Yeah, we should be clear on.
I don't believe it. And Piastri, it's a slow stop. So that's, yeah, we had to let Norris through. Pit lane position is key here. It was a slow stop for Piastri. Right, we're going to immediately deploy. Driving clean air, high overtake aggression. We're going for this move. And we have absolutely rinsed Charles Leclerc out of the pit lane. Wow, that was unbelievably easy.
That was a nice move.
Unbelievable. He's only 7/10 clear. We've got wear on the engine already. That's concerning. Although we have been using it in practice, so that's to be expected. And we pushed quite hard in the first couple of races, actually. So fuel is looking okay. Leclerc being less than half a second behind is not okay. And here comes the Monegasque round the outside. And is he going to pinch the position into the final pair of corners? The camera work very sketchy there. We've actually got DRS. That's great. Let's harvest. And then make sure we get plenty of juice in the battery. So we've lost the position here. But let's deploy. We'll drive in clean air. We'll turn that overtake aggression up. And are we going to sweep back through? Yes. Looks like it. Looks like it. There we go. That's what we like to see. I think Piastri had just got past Norris, but he now hasn't. Verstappen is out of the picture right now. It's just a straight fight between Leclerc and Russell. And here comes the monogas. Let's in fact top up the battery and then just sort of stick with Leclerc, hopefully, and then maybe pinch it on the last lap. So one more lap and let's deploy. We'll turn the overtake aggression up once more. In fact, I'm going to push with the engine here. 6/10 back. I don't think we're close enough, actually. Don't think we're close enough, although he's going to give it a good go. Here goes George Russell around the outside. Can he make the move? Pinch the inside for this corner. Oh, have we stolen it? Have we stolen it? Oh, it's so close. Don't crash. Don't crash and lose it. Come on, George.
Look good.
We're through. George Russell has got the lead. He's got the lead on the last lap. Here's how he did it. We'll just watch it once again. This was so close, so close. This is great racing between the pair of them. And he gets the drive, that's crucial. But we do have one more DRS. Oh no, we're out of battery. We're out of battery. Oh no, Leclerc's going to steal it here. Here comes Charles Leclerc. No, 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 no. He's stolen it back. Oh, unbelievable. What a final lap. And we've just come up short. We're going to be beaten to the win for the second race in a row by Red Bull. But this time it's Charles Leclerc. George Russell finishes second. Verstappen a distant third. Piastri will come home in P5.
Good job.
Oh, that was so close. So close.
We have a checkered flag now.
Wow.
So that's P5.
I thought we had it, but as soon as I saw we were out of battery, kind of knew. So another podium for George Russell. Obviously, he won the first race and he's finished second in the following two. And obviously not far off the lead in each one. But Charles Leclerc putting himself in as a potential championship contender. Lando Norris finishing fourth, Piastri fifth, Gasly P6. Don't really need to check in with anybody else. Piastri still only seventh in the Drivers' Championship. That's worrying. Obviously, he had that ropey start in Australia. George does extend his championship lead to 8 points over Max Verstappen. He's now 16 clear of Lando Norris, and Leclerc is putting himself in amongst it too. But Piastri now the lowest common denominator in terms of number 2 driver. He's still behind Ocon, in fact. Constructors wise, Red Bull have actually pinched the lead in the constructors from us now. This was always going to be the problem, I think, putting in a young driver, not taking a Charles Leclerc or Lando Norris level driver, or even Max Verstappen himself. Maybe we should have gone for Carlos Sainz. But we'll work with Oscar and we'll get things moving in the right direction. But honestly, second place out of that race was a bit of a steal, to be splitting the Red Bulls, having been so far off in qualifying. Obviously the red flag played to our advantage, but to be so close to the win, it's still so disappointing, so frustrating. But I think we should be very pleased with a second place there, because we didn't really have the pace to deserve it. Well, that was a fun and wild race, wasn't it? Leave a nice big thumbs up on the video for me if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel for more F1 Manager content. And remember, you're the best fans. I'll see you in Imola. It's goodbye for now.